I wasn't that young. Late 20s. Stable relationship, well, stable as two people can be, working out their neuroses, and I was using an IUD. I have friends, and then I was late. Now I have friends who can chart their periods chapter and verse. They know exactly when they ovulate, but I'd always been so regular, I never paid much attention, so I kept waiting for the jump start all the way into the next month. And then still no period, so I realized that I should probably get this checked out. Got concerned, but I didn't tell him yet because I didn't want to concern him needlessly. So I copied down the number off an ad in the bus, free pregnancy test. There were no drugstore tests in those days. And I went in, and they took my pee and blood, and they, smiley nurse, took me back, put me in the doctor's office, and he came in and he said, "Your test was positive." Huh? I said, "Your test was positive, you're pregnant." But, how could I be? I mean, the IUD. And he says, "Well, 10% get pregnant anyway, nothing is 100% effective." And he says, "Do you know what you want to do?" I said, "Well, I know I'm not going to be having this baby. We're not set up for this. But where can I go?" And so they gave me Planned Parenthood's number. I was glad that they didn't have an agenda. And anyway, I was in such shock that I took a cab. A baby in my body. Something I thought I'd never feel. That I planned carefully not to. Felt like a flicker, like a candle flame. So he was as surprised as I was, and I gave him the information, and he hugged me, and he said he was sorry, so sorry, and I told him I would make the arrangements, and he said he would come along. And so over my beating heart, I heard a kind voice answer the phone, and they said, "Well, the soonest appointment we have is 2 weeks, but come in beforehand and we'll discuss the whole thing." So I did, and they explained the vacuuming and the bleeding and the cramping. And after that, we decided that we would carry on with our plans to go see his parents in the country while I was driving off the highway of their grandchildren, and they didn't even know it. We hiked up into the hills, to a place he knew, back into the woods, and made love in the wintergreen. Never had sex like that before or since. And the next week, the day came. Oh, and the day I found out I was pregnant, I quit smoking. I guess I just, while it was in me, I wanted to have the best of care. So the day came, and I was afraid. This flicker was soon to be this choice, this decision was going to be a bleeding, cramping loss in my body. And the week before, I had bought a book and read it with pictures of the microscopic world. It was called Behold Life. And I thought it was so cruel of the world to do this, to sharpen my appreciation and then ask this of me. But that was how I knew to whom I offered gratitude. My living flicker had, well, the universe had congratulated my pipes working properly, I suppose. Anyway, I was, yes, it hurt, and I was awake. I was conscious. And the summer before, I had spent a lot of it learning Shakespeare's sonnets. And so I recited them and childhood songs and prayers to cover the sound of the vacuum, because I had never liked the sound of vacuums ever since I was a kid. And I went through the sorrowful, relieving experience. He did come. He would have taken on the pain if he could have. He brought peonies. I recovered, as I knew I would. Our lives went on. It was the right decision, as we knew it was, because our lives were our own. I would have, every child just deserves to be welcomed and to be loved, and I would have resented a child that had asked my life